What's up, everybody? This is Wade Merrick from Unparalleled Universe here with another review, and today we'll be looking at the Disney Store Star Wars Elite Series diecast General Grievous. And this review is going to be a little bit different because I did make some slight modifications on the figure to make it just a little bit better, because right out of the package his arms were falling off and they were falling all over the place. They wouldn't stay up on their own like whatsoever, so I did a few things to make the figure just a little bit better, and I'll show you exactly what I did later on in the video. And I apologize for not having a shot of the figure in the package, but here's a quick look at the packaging. And I do like this packaging that it comes in. I usually keep these diecast figures in their cases, but as you can see here, mine had some scuffs and stuff on it, so it didn't look very nice. But it is, I really do like the way this packaging looks. It looks really cool with the figure inside. Here's a little biography on General Grievous, and just a little bit about the Elite series. So it's nice, simple packaging, and I like how they're all kind of the same, pretty much, except for like this one's just a little bit bigger than the other Elite series figures. So let's take a look at the articulation. His head can go side to side. Can't really go up and down too much, but just a little bit. There we go, you can see from the side there. And his arms are able to come up like all the way around. And these are on two ball joints, but they kind of rub together, so you got to be careful with them, but they do move. This has a little bit of movement, but not very much range of motion. Same thing here. He has a waist swivel. He has a ball joint on the leg and a single jointed knee. There's no kind of articulation down here, which is unfortunate. It makes it really difficult for him to stand, even with the stand that he comes with. And you got the same kind of articulation on this side. And it's like a ball joint that sticks into the torso and then has two other balls coming out that the two arms attach to. It rotates at the torso and at the arm, so that's pretty cool. But these arms were really bad straight out of the packaging. They were falling all over the place, I think because the lower arm is die-cast metal. So what I did was applied some glue right into here to kind of give it some more strength. I was hoping that it was able to grip the ball joint a little bit better, because this arm would not stay on at all. It would just fall as soon as I touched the figure. And this was also really loose, so what I did was just added some glue right into here. Not that much, just a tiny little bit. And then I'd move this around as it dried, so then it just got tighter. And I had to do this a few times because I would do it, then after a little bit it'd get loose again. Not as loose as it was originally, but it would just be a little bit looser than I wanted it. So after I did it a few times, I was happy with it. So then I also put a little bit of glue onto the ball joint itself, and I placed the arm back on while the glue was still just a little wet, and just moved it around to make it tight. And this pretty much worked for all the joints, and I didn't lose any of the articulation or anything like that, so it worked out okay. I had to do a little extra gluing on the arm that kept falling off, but in the end I was able to make it work. So now you can see that the arms can move around without falling. Before, this was impossible. These things were just falling all over the place. It was horrible. But now you're able to pose it a little bit without the arms falling off or flopping, being all floppy or falling over or whatever. So that's kind of cool. Doesn't quite save the figure, but it made it a little bit better than it was before. And as for his accessories, he comes with 4 different lightsabers, and I thought it was cool that they did that. 4 different sculpted lightsabers. I thought that was cool. Really makes it seem like you got them from Jedi that he hunted down. On the green ones though, it seems like the lightsaber part, it's like a dyed clear plastic, and it's inconsistent. You can see through it on some parts. Oh, on the blue too, actually. You see it's darker than it is on other parts, but for the most part, all the lightsabers look nice. Then he also has this cape with the design on the back. It's really well done. And this is all sculpted and painted. It's not very hard. So it's a really nice cape, so that's cool. And here he is on the stand that he comes with. And you almost need the stand and the cape to make him able to stand up because of the way that his feet are sculpted. And another big downfall in this figure is that the lightsabers pretty much cannot be held at all. You just gotta kind of lay them in there. So what I did was I ran it under some hot water until you're able to form it, and had to do it for quite a while, and then I formed it as tightly as I could, and then I ran it under some cold water. But it still wants to kind of go back to how it originally was, so yeah, I had to do this a couple times, but in the end it worked out to where he's able to hold his lightsabers. Your best bet might be just to throw some clear rubber bands on there, but as you can see, it does hold it, so that's okay. You gotta kind of still find the best way to fit them in there. And you could kind of turn them until they're tightly positioned in there, and they'll stay even when you're moving them around. So that's cool. You gotta just kind of work with it a little bit. And if one lightsaber doesn't fit in one hand, you could always try it in another hand and see how it works out for you. This one's the hardest to get in any hand because there isn't really any buttons or knobs or anything hanging off the side of it like the rest of them. And here's the last one. It has a few little small knobs, but you're still able to get it in there to where it's tight. As you can see, it flops around a little bit. Yeah, it's really frustrating. These things just fall out. But yeah, so there you go. But yeah, it's not great, but at least they sit in there. So a positive thing about this figure is the sculpt. I think they did a really nice job of capturing this character. I really like the way the eyes look sunken into the helmet there. And he has a really like an insect kind of feel to him, so I thought that was cool. It's a real shame that they don't have any kind of articulation down here though, but again, the sculpt is really nice. That's the one positive thing on this figure. And the paint's not bad either. It does chip a little bit because of it's on like die-cast metal, but you know, you don't really notice it. So, and for size comparisons, it's a little tough to give good accurate size comparisons because I mean, he can crouch a little bit more than this, and he could also stand a little bit taller, but it's hard to get him in those positions without his stand, and I didn't want to include the stand in the size comparisons. But here he is next to Black Series Darth Maul and Black Series Obi-Wan Kenobi. And here he is next to Figure Arts Luke Skywalker and Black Series Boba Fett. So he is kind of big, but I think he does look good next to the Black Series figures. So you could use him as a stand-in if nothing else until we see one in the Black Series or until the Figure Arts one comes out. So that's the review. Honestly, I don't think I'd recommend buying this figure unless you're looking just for a stand-in for General Grievous. In that case, I think he's good, you know. But I think it's kind of unfair to have to do those modifications just to make him decent. Because right out of the package, he was bad. He was like super frustrating handling. So I don't know, but I really don't think these Disney Elite figures are made to be handled. I think they're kind of meant to stay in the package. But in this case, I've heard where people get theirs and their arms already falling off in the package, and in mine the packaging was all scuffed. It didn't even look nice in the packaging. So, you know, but after taking it out and doing those little modifications, I mean, I will say that I'm kind of happy with it. I mean, not happy with it, but I'm okay with it for now. I mean, I think it's gonna look really cool on the shelf, and I mean, I'm kind of happy that I'm able to get minimum posing out of it at this point after doing those modifications. And honestly, I saw a couple reviews before I went for it, and you know, I decided to go for it anyways. So I can't be too upset with all the flaws on the figures because I knew what I was getting into. But like I said before, I think that he'll look really nice on the shelf. So if that's all you want out of your General Grievous figure, then maybe you should go for it. But if you're expecting like a highly articulated, fun action figure, that's not what you're gonna get here, really. And I should have got a shot of how floppy his arms were before I put the glue on, so I apologize for that. But Glen Webb and the FWOOSH both did really great reviews on him, so I'll leave links in the description below so you guys could check that out. You can see how bad the arms were. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe and comment. Please be sure to check out the other videos on my channel, and also be sure to check out CoolToyReview.com. And thank you very much. Peace.